Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. The silence in the Ford Transit had grown heavy, thick with unspoken things. 2 hours down, 1 to go. Mark kept his eyes fixed on the highway stretching back towards home, away from the college campus where they deposited Sophie, their only child, into the alien landscape of freshman year. Claire stared out the passenger window, the blur of trees mirroring the whirl of her thoughts. Time slipped like water. Felt like only yesterday she'd seen that second pink line on the test. Mark still just a college kid himself, studying engineering schematics while she navigated morning sickness. Their parents, relieved by the familiar pairing, had smoothed the way. Marriage after Mark graduated, her life settling into the comfortable, quiet rhythm of stay-at-home motherhood, while Mark built his HVAC empire, brick by painstaking brick. He was a good provider, meticulous, dependable, and lately suffocatingly predictable. "Going to be quiet," Mark finally said, his voice rough around the edges. "Empty." The word hung there. "She was always yours, Mark," Claire replied, a familiar sharpness creeping in. "Daddy's girl. Our princess," he corrected softly. "Deserves the best." A beat passed, though, her attitude, these last few months. Claire seized on it. "You noticed? When you were home, she clung to you. When you weren't, it was like I was invisible. Or worse, sometimes she'd mock me, Mark. That look in her eye." She shuddered, remembering. 2 months ago, with the kitchen knife, I was on the couch. She came up behind me. I swear, Mark, I saw hate. "You're imagining things, Claire," he sighed, a familiar wall going up. Irritation tightened his grip on the wheel. Senior year stress, college pressure. Cut her some slack. Claire fell silent. Arguing now was pointless, risked igniting his temper. She pulled out her phone, thumb tapping out a quick text. 30 minutes out. A reply pinged almost instantly. "Sophie?" Mark asked. "No. Sarah." "Ah." Mark's tone shifted. "How is she?" "Still complaining about Dave." "Same old," Claire murmured. Though the details Sarah had shared at their last barbecue, Dave's late nights, the feeling of being secondary echoed uncomfortably. "She married a sheriff," Mark said flatly. "Comes with the territory." Claire didn't respond, leaning her head against the cool glass, wishing the miles would dissolve faster. As they turned onto their street, the sight of Dave's cruiser parked awkwardly by their garage sent a jolt through her. Mark pulled the van in behind it. Dave and a deputy emerged, their faces professionally blank. "What's going on, Dave?" Mark asked, confusion clouding his features as he walked towards them. In that instant, Claire slipped out and moved quickly, positioning herself slightly behind the deputy. Mark's frown deepened. "This is the part one hate, Mark," Dave said, his voice low as he produced a manila envelope. "William Thornton, you've been served." Mark's hands trembled as he took it. "Served? Dave? Is this a joke?" He looked at Claire, a desperate question in his eyes, but she dropped her gaze, studying the cracks in the driveway. "Why, Claire? What did I?" "Mark, it's best you leave." Dave cut in, his tone firm but weary. "Get a lawyer. Divorce proceedings. There's also a restraining order. 500 feet. Mark's face contorted. "Last Sunday, Dave. You and Sarah. Here. For Sophie's send-off. My food, my booze. You wished her luck, smiling like nothing was wrong. And now this? Hypocrites." "Mark, try to understand." "Understand what, Dave?" Mark snapped, his voice raw. "That you're his errand boy?" He rounded on Claire, eyes blazing. "And you liar. If you didn't love me, just say it. We could have ended it clean." "Mark, the order's active," Dave warned, hand hovering near his belt. "I need you to leave." Mark stormed to the van, hurled the envelope onto the passenger seat, slammed the door. He turned back, jaw tight. "My things. I need my personal things. Surely you're not that much of a bastard." He pulled out his house key. "Won't work," Dave said, producing a new set, handing them to the deputy. "Locks are changed." Mark's eyes narrowed. Took care of everything, did you? Or was it Sarah? Let me guess. She was here with a locksmith while we were gone. Dave just gave a slight, confirming nod. The deputy escorted Mark inside. Don't stay alone tonight, Claire, Dave advised quietly. He's furious. People do stupid things when they're angry. I won't be, Claire replied coolly. A friend's coming over. A friend. Dave echoed under his breath, his expression unreadable. Minutes later, Mark emerged with 2 suitcases, loading them into the van. The deputy handed Claire the new keys. Mark snatched the envelope, ripped it open, scanned the documents. His face hardened. Wait a damn minute, he roared, waving the papers. 50% of my business? Half the savings? The house? Her car? Alimony? She wants to bleed me dry. Mark, if you don't leave, I'm arresting you, Dave said, pulling out his cuffs. No need, Mark said, his voice suddenly icy calm. He pulled a pen from his pocket. I'll sign, right now. Give me my copy. Claire, Dave, and the deputy watched, stunned, as Mark initialed and signed every designated spot with sharp, angry strokes. Claire felt a surge of triumph. Done. Free. Everything she wanted. Dave witnessed the signatures, handed Mark his copy. Mark climbed into the van, then paused, leaning out. Who is he, Claire? He spat. How long? He started the engine. She picked divorce, he said, looking past Claire to Dave. Because she knew I'd never go for an open marriage. Not like you. What open marriage? Dave asked, genuinely baffled. Don't play dumb, Dave. Everyone knows. What the hell are you talking about? Mark gave a bitter smirk. While you're pulling late shifts, your brother Paul keeps Sarah's bed warm. Sorry to break it to you. Dave's face flushed crimson. You son of a... She's cheating on you, Dave. Mark interrupted, his voice flat. You're a cop, trained to spot liars. Go home. Ask Sarah. He reversed sharply, tires squealing, and was gone. Inside, alone at last, Claire poured a generous glass of wine. Her eyes fell on the painting above the fireplace, Dave's prized possession. The train station, easily worth 6 figures. He'd left it during a renovation scare. His loss? She thought. A sly smile touching her lips. She grabbed her phone, hit speed dial. Come on, Leo, pick up, she muttered, hanging up in frustration. He was supposed to come straight here. She sank onto the sofa, sipping her wine. Leo. Met him nearly a year ago, literally bumped into him in the shoe department where he worked. Young, sculpted, radiating an energy that made her insides melt. Numbers exchanged. Lunch break the next day at her house, frantic and consuming. She told Mark she felt sick that night, crawled into bed early, limbs heavy, mind buzzing. Mark, bless his oblivious heart, hadn't noticed a thing. He was always tired, lost in blueprints or helping Sophie with homework, asleep seconds after his head hit the pillow. Claire finished her wine, poured another. Hit speed dial again. The number you have called is temporarily unavailable. Scowling, she tossed the phone aside, turned on the TV. Couldn't focus. Annoyed, she decided on a hot shower. Steam filled the bathroom, her thoughts drifting to Leo. Just last week. The things he'd done. Things she'd never allowed with Mark. Things Leo insisted were theirs alone. Yesterday, at his apartment, she had a key, cleaned it sometimes while he was at work, bought him clothes, cologne, a watch, slipped him cash, let him drive her BMW. Consumed by him. God, I need him now. She tried to recall the last time she and Mark had been intimate. 3 months ago? 6? Longer? It didn't matter. Leo was real. With Mark gone, they were free. He'd move in tonight. Out of the shower, she tried Leo's number again. Still nothing. Cursing, she made a small dinner she barely touched. If I could just leave the house, I'd drive straight there. Then something on the TV news snagged her attention. She scrambled for the remote, turning up the volume. Her breath hitched. Sheriff Dave Anderson, handcuffed, being led to a police car. Shot his wife, Sarah. in the head before driving to his brother Paul's workplace and shooting him 5 times. Both deceased. The anchor reported, voice grave. Claire's hand flew to her mouth. The TV screen went black as she hit the power button. She sank onto the couch, trembling. "Oh, Sarah, I told you to be careful." Tears welled, hot and sudden. That night, sleep was impossible. The house felt cavernous, accusing. Mark gone. Leo vanished. Sarah dead. Sophie distant for months. Parents long past. Her sister lived hours away. For the first time, Claire felt utterly, terrifyingly alone. Saturday bled into Sunday. No word from Leo. Anxiety curdled into bitter resentment. He could at least text. By Sunday morning, patience shredded. She drove to his apartment. The moment she stepped inside, dread washed over her. Bare walls. Electronics gone. Closet empty. Bathroom scrubbed clean. He'd vanished. Collapsing onto the bare mattress, she sobbed. He left me, after everything he promised. She drove to the department store. His colleague explained. Leo came in Friday morning, left saying he forgot his wallet, never returned. Emailed his resignation later that day. Why? The question echoed in the empty car as she drove home, tears blurring the road. At the gas station, her cards were declined. Humiliation burned as she paid with the last of her cash. Monday morning, at the bank, the manager delivered the blows clinically. Joint credit card closed by Mark on Friday. He'd informed them of the divorce, absolving himself of the mortgage and car payments. Mistake, Claire stammered. The car was paid off. The house, too. A car loan was taken, Mrs. Thornton, and a second mortgage on the house for your daughter's university expenses. Last week, funds were debited for 3 months of overdue payments. The account is now empty. His business? The transfers. I cannot discuss Mr. Thornton's business accounts. However, if upcoming payments aren't met, the house and car will be repossessed. Her legs felt weak. I don't have a job. Perhaps discuss this with your lawyer. The safe deposit box held only her jewelry. She stuffed it into her purse. Mark's cell, out of service. His office line rang endlessly. She dialed Sophie. What do you want? Sophie's voice was ice. Sophie? Is that how you talk to a woman who betrayed her family? Yes. I need to talk to your father. I can't reach him. I know where he is. I won't tell you. You threw him away. You're nothing to me. Don't call again. Click. Frozen in the car, Claire stared blankly ahead. Where did it go wrong? Why did Leo vanish? She booked an urgent appointment with her lawyer. Mrs. Thornton, the lawyer began somberly later that day. Regarding your husband's company, he filed for bankruptcy last Thursday, before you served him. Claire gasped. But you said millions. 2 weeks ago, yes. Now, accounts are frozen. The company will likely be liquidated. The house? The car. He used the house as collateral for another loan last week, again before being served, and the car loan documents you signed were solely in your name. Tears streamed down her face. This can't be happening. Mrs. Thornton, did your husband know he was about to be served? Claire shook her head, then paused. Could he have? No. He never saw it coming. So, she whispered, voice trembling. No company money, no savings. House and car gone soon. Nothing. I'm afraid so. Once he finds new employment, we can pursue alimony. Investment certificates. In the safe deposit box. We can investigate when they were cashed. And examine company records. But it requires locating Mr. Thornton. And Mrs. Thornton. This work incurs fees. Claire's mind raced. Then, a flicker of hope. The painting. It's worth a lot. Good. Get it appraised. Sell it. Bring us a check. One last thing, the lawyer added gently. Worst case? You need to prepare to vacate the house. Later, standing before the train station, Claire felt a pang of regret. Wanted to keep you, she murmured. But thanks to him, she called her sister. Hey, sis, need a favor. Anything, you know that. Mark and we're divorcing. It's complicated. Can I use the guest room? Just temporarily? Oh, Claire. What about Sophie? She's her father's daughter, Claire sighed. I'm the bad guy. No way to fix it? Counseling. Don't think so. Of course you can stay. Tom won't mind. Our daughter will be thrilled. Tuesday, Claire took her jewelry to a goldsmith. Gold-plated copper, ma'am. Imitations. Fury surged. That bastard. She rushed to an art gallery with the painting. The appraiser examined it, praised the original Pignal's emotional depth. Then he chuckled. Something wrong? Claire asked, dread coiling in her stomach. He pulled up an image of the real painting on his laptop, zooming in. See? Man and little girl on the platform watching a woman walk away. Heartbreak. Tears. He handed her a magnifying glass. Now look at yours. Claire looked. Her breath hitched. On her painting, the man and girl were laughing, pointing mockingly at the woman. It's fake, she stammered, collapsing into a chair. A well-done forgery, he conceded. I'll give you 200 for it. For a laugh in my office. She took the money, walking out numbly. Her phone rang. Her sister. Hi, sis. Claire tried, forcing brightness. Don't you sis me, you disgusting tramp. The voice snarled. What? Why? Tom got an email. Sent to everyone. Relatives, friends. A link. To an adult site. Dozens of videos. Claire. You. Some young guy. In your marital bed. In his filthy apartment. Dates from last year up to last week. How could you? I can explain. No need. You're vile. Tom doesn't want you near us. Near our daughter. Says you'll contaminate us. Go find your lover. Click. Claire stood frozen on the sidewalk, phone pressed to her ear. They knew. Everyone knows. Panic seized her. I have to get out. Run. Far away. Mark sat in the front pew, the organ music swelling, sunlight streaming through stained glass. He'd just walked Sophie down the aisle. His daughter, radiant at the altar, exchanging vows with the young man she'd met freshman year. Earlier that morning, an unexpected call had come. He hadn't told anyone. Couldn't not today. His mind drifted back. The frantic call from Sophie, 5 years ago. Dad, come home. Please. Her voice cracking with tears. Don't call Mom. Just come. I'm waiting down the street. The drive back had been agonizing. Why wasn't she at school? Why outside? Why not call Claire? He'd almost run a red light, forcing himself to breathe. He remembered helping her with a project the night before, saving the presentation to a USB drive. He found her huddled on the curb a block from the house. Don't go to the house, Dad. She got in, trembling. I forgot my USB stick. Came back at lunch. There was an old Honda in the driveway. I went inside. Heard noises. From your room. Her breath hitched. I peeked. The door wasn't closed all the way. Tears streamed down her face. It was Mom. With a man. He sat stunned. Betrayal witnessed by his 17-year-old daughter. She pulled out her phone, played a shaky video. The cheap Honda pulling away confirmed it. Get her out, Dad. She's not my mother. It's not that simple, sophomore. You want to stay with her? No. But I need to know. Everything. He saw the Honda turn the corner. Follow him, Sophie hissed. They trailed it to a department store, watched the young man Leo get out, put on a uniform jacket. Sophie snapped photos. Okay, Mark said grimly. I drop you at school. I go home, get the USB. Tell her you called, asked me to bring it. I don't want you facing her. Not yet. Understand? Why not yet? Because I don't want her knowing that we know. Not until I'm ready. He squeezed her shoulder. I promise you'll know everything. Back home. Claire looked startled when he walked in. Mark. Didn't expect you. Sophie called. Forgot her drive. He walked past her. A strange, cloying scent hanging in the air. He grabbed the USB and left, his mind already racing. That afternoon, he researched surveillance gear. Audio bugs, hidden cameras, phone monitoring software. He bought the best. He made a decision. He would never touch Claire again. He kept Sophie informed, a grim pact between them. Over the next 3 months, the ugly truth unfurled. Leo Wyatt, daily visits, lunch breaks, weekends at Leo's apartment when Claire was supposedly shopping. She had a key, spent lavishly on him our clothes, watches, cash. Mark recorded their conversations, their strained whispers, their empty promises. He heard Claire confiding in Sarah, heard Sarah admit her own affair with Dave's brother, Paul. Seeds planted. He found the spare key to Leo's apartment in Claire's purse, had a copy made. The building was run down, no security. He planted tiny, battery-powered cameras, found all the expensive gifts Claire had bought. A plan formed, cold and intricate. He had a goldsmith replicate Claire's jewelry in cheap metal, commissioned an art forger to paint a copy of the train station, with one crucial, mocking alteration. He contacted his old friend Mike, a corporate lawyer. Mike introduced him to his cousin, Anna Sharp, widowed, an expert auditor. Mark laid it out. Sync his own company legally, maintain remote control, structure it so Sophie could buy it back years later. He and Anna met often. A tentative friendship grew. She was raising her son alone after a car crash killed her husband. One evening, Sophie at a sleepover, Mark told Claire he was working late. He took Anna to dinner, a movie. My first date since. Anna murmured as he pulled into her driveway. Did you enjoy it? I did. A soft kiss on his cheek. Let's take it slow, Mark. You're still married. He respected that. Meanwhile, he nudged Claire towards trading in her paid-off Lexus. A BMW convertible, he suggested, would make her look younger. She bit. He sold the Lexus, pocketed the cash, took out a loan for the BMW entirely in Claire's name, burying the loan documents within the ownership papers she signed without reading. Then came the discovery that turned cold anger molten. Surveillance showed Leo, after being with Claire, going into Sophie's empty room, taking her underwear. Mark showed Sophie the footage. Her fury was terrifying. They planted a camera in her room, watched Leo's repellent ritual. Days later, Sophie crept up behind Claire on the sofa, kitchen knife in hand. Mark intervened just in time. Wouldn't have gone to jail, Sophie whispered later, cold-eyed. I'm a minor. He wasn't surprised to overhear Leo urging Claire to divorce him, bleed him dry. They had no idea Mark was listening, planning, always steps ahead. He knew Leo drove the BMW, knew they used the back seat. Knew Claire had hired Dave's recommended lawyer. He waited, took out the second mortgage, fully funding Sophie's education. The next day, filed for bankruptcy. He knew Sarah would arrange the locksmith while they were dropping Sophie off. That Friday morning, while Claire showered, Mark used her phone. Sent a text to Leo. Meet me at your place 8 a.m. Want you one last time before I leave. Tell work you need to go home. Hurry. Leaving my phone here. See you soon, future husband. He deleted the sent message. Leo walked into an ambush. 3 men Mark hired. Knife to the throat. Forced resignation email. Notice to landlord. Drugged. Apartment cleaned out. Surveillance removed. Body wrapped in a carpet, loaded into a van. Car disposed of. Leo Wyatt ceased to exist. Sophie and Anna would never know. A secret Mark would carry to his grave. That Friday evening, served and seemingly broken, Mark checked into a cheap motel. Watched the news about Dave's murder-suicide with grim satisfaction. One of the hired men delivered the surveillance gear, received final payment. No words exchanged about the body's location. Saturday, Mark bought a burner phone, tossed the old one, called Sophie with the new number, drove to Anna's, spent the weekend editing videos blurring Leo's face, bonded with Anna's son, moved forward with the company sale, to Anna's unsuspecting aunt and uncle in Seattle, ensuring no employees lost jobs. Monday, Sophie called laughing. Claire was frantically trying to reach him. Mark uploaded the videos to a graphic site, emailed the link anonymously to everyone they knew, including Claire's brother-in-law. He lived in Anna's guest room for 3 months, waiting for the divorce hearing. He and Anna grew closer, but she held firm. Nothing physical until he was legally single. It suited his narrative. Broke, unemployed, relying on a friend's charity. Claire didn't show up for the hearing. House and car repossessed, Mark bankrupt, the judge granted the divorce. No alimony, no asset division. Her lawyer didn't contest. In the courthouse hallway, the lawyer met his eyes. "You're a very clever man, Mr. Thornton." Mark just frowned and walked away. Present day, the wedding reception. "Dad? Earth to Dad." Sophie's voice pulled him back. "Father-daughter dance time." He spun her onto the floor. When the song ended, he whispered, "Now your mom." Sophie smiled knowingly. "And little brother is third." He chuckled, leading Anna onto the dance floor. Later, at the bar, whiskey in hand, he replayed the morning's call. "Mr. Thornton? Dr. Evans. Dallas, Texas. Calling about your wife." Confusion. Ex-wife. Claire Thornton. The name, unheard in 5 years, jolted him. "I'm a psychologist." Treated her. In her final days. Final days? The doctor explained. Claire's confession. The affair, the divorce plot, her certainty Mark had known, orchestrated her ruin. Leaving town with $200. The bus to Texas. Working as a waitress in a grim truck-stop bar. Exploited by the owner. A botched, illegal abortion a year later. Then pimped out to truckers. STDs. AIDS. Dying. Her last wish, to see Mark. "I'm sorry to hear that, doctor," Mark had replied evenly. "But today is my daughter's wedding. I'll call next week. Don't wait too long." Just then, Anna wrapped her arms around him. "Hey, easy on the whiskey, husband. You're driving us home." She kissed him. "Best thing that ever happened to me," he whispered, pushing the glass away. "Wouldn't do anything to risk you or our son. Let's dance." A few days later, from his pristine office, Mark called Dr. Evans. Too busy to travel. The doctor suggested a phone call, transferred him to Claire's ward. A frail, weak voice. "Mark? Is that you?" "Yes, Claire. It's me." Sobs, ragged and broken. "Oh, Mark, I'm so sorry. For everything. I ruined everything." "I forgave you long ago, Claire," he said, his voice calm, measured. "I moved on. I'm happy. In fact," he paused, letting the words land, "I have you to thank. After the divorce, I married the most incredible woman. Anna. We have a son. Sophie calls her mom. They're inseparable." He let that sink in. "By the way, Sophie got married last Saturday. Beautiful wedding. Her mom handled everything. One day, Sophie's kids will call Anna grandma. We're both looking forward to it." He heard strangled gasps. Then a sudden commotion. A panicked voice. "Mr. Thornton? Nurse Miller. I have to hang up." Click. Mark leaned back, eyes landing on the framed photo on his desk. Himself, Anna, Sophie, their young son, all smiling. Perfect picture. He smiled faintly to himself. He who laughs last, laughs best. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.